Welcome back. US President Donald Trump's administration is attempting to block foreign students from enrolling at Harvard University. Although a federal judge has temporarily blocked the move and diplomatic posts have been ordered to resume processing of visas, the fight is far from over. Ooi Tze Howe, Chief Executive of non-profit think tank HEYA Inc., shares his insights on how the legal battle might unfold.
And let's say if the result is actually favoring the Trump administration's decisions, then it stops a huge uncertainties to all the students, new students enrolled, as well as all those senior students in the campus itself. So even when it comes to the end, if the Supreme Court actually give favorable decisions to the students, it's not siding with the Trump administrations. But because all these students' visas is all under the administrative purviews, so meaning the Trump administrations, although they are not allowed to ban it, but they can still have a lot of administrative actions to kind of slow it down or dragging it. So it actually stopped a huge uncertainties. And Harvard is actually at the losing side if you look at the current strategic positions.
There is a growing perception that the US is no longer the global leader in higher education. Tze Howe weighs in on America's declining standing amid funding cuts and a lack of academic freedom.
I think the Trump administration has really halted the US status as the world higher education's place for students, because if you look into this visa issue, this is just one of them. So there is even more terrible issue, which is haunting the higher education systems, typically those elite universities, those Ivy League universities in US currently. So you can easily point out some of them. A lot of those research funding is cut. So the funding, I mean, Harvard is again a very famous examples where Trump actually cut off all federal grant to all to Harvard. So basically, Harvard is not receiving any research grant, but not just Harvard. Other universities is also in the pipeline in review by the US government, and the US government have put in a lot of conditions to be fulfilled. That is one of the way that they can kind of cut off the fundings, if the universities doesn't meet all those stringent requirements. The second case, of course, is when we talk about the scope change. Now, previously, US is in terms of on research and also in the universities academia, US is a very liberal place. Liberal in terms of total academic freedoms. So universities can set their own scope on what is the research, what is the teaching and learning methods that they want to adopt in terms when it comes to universities' academics affairs. But now you can see the new US administration under Trump has strictly restricts a lot of those research scopes. So typically, if you did encounter, so we did encounter that a lot of collaborations with the US government now, if you are looking into renewable energies, if you look into climate change, if you look into decarbonizations, those are kind of deemed not aligned with the current US administration's strategic initiatives.
With growing uncertainty, students and researchers are looking elsewhere. Tze Howe outlines the next big contender.
So the next place probably they will look to is UK or Australia, and UK being the most probable locations, because UK, the entire UK university systems are almost up to par with the US one. So the one of the biggest difference within US and UK is probably the scale of the funding. Not to mention you have those Russell Group universities such as Oxbridge, LSE, Imperial College London that can actually provide almost equivalent capability in terms of research and developments and teaching and learnings for the students and the researchers.